This meeting is being live streamed. By stating this meeting concerns being live streamed.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to KUMB TV. We're back for a new season and a new look, as you can see. I'm joined this afternoon by my good friends, Rio and the Pink Palermo and Chalks, who isn't with us on the screen, but is with us for audio. So we shall be taking you through this draw, which is taking place right now at what has been described as the House of European Football in Nyon in Switzerland. The draw will be starting very, very soon. We'll be bringing you all the details. West Ham, of course, can face one of 10 teams. I'll be bringing you some details of how the draw works and how long it's going to take very, very shortly. But let me just say hello to the gang first. We'll start with Chalks, so we can't see Chalks. How you doing, buddy? Good to hear you. I was going to say good to see you, but we can't see you.
All good, mate. All good. Good to see all of you.
Good stuff. Have you? How's your summer going so far? Been having fun? Been out in the sun?
It was amazing up until obviously Joe's little injury on Sunday, which put a dampener on the whole family. But all good, mate. Yeah.
Tell us a bit more, because obviously we all know about Joe, but the assembled crew are going to be watching this stream. Joe is going to be the next footballing super. Well, I say the next footballing superstar from the Chalks household. Possibly the first, but let us know what the score is with him and where he is at the moment.
He's signed his first contract at Erith Town. Got himself into the first team.
Yeah.
He's a striker converted to a winger. All of a sudden found himself playing at right back and has been exceptional. But had an accident on Sunday night and worst case scenario faces a number of months out, injured with an ankle injury, after falling down some steps. Best case scenario we're hoping would be between 4 and 6 weeks, but we're going to wait until we see the physio tomorrow. But it's a blow. This is the fittest he's ever been, and he's he's not missed a session through pre-season. He's been absolutely flying, and it's a choker. But I suppose it's the perils of playing football, isn't it? And he's close to playing it for a living, so we need him to get over this as soon as he can.
Yeah, sod's law, mate, isn't it? It's just a shame. It was all going so well for him, and to suffer a really unfortunate accident like that. But we of course hope he's back soon.
Can I just say so that everyone else can hear it as well? Thank you very much, you fellas, for sponsoring him this season.
No problem.
The injury wasn't supposed to happen straight after you'd sponsored him.
Well, I haven't actually paid the bill yet, so we might have to. No. We're all delighted to be involved with that, and we look forward to Joe getting back and doing his stuff very, very soon, and showing everyone what you can do. Rio, how are you doing, buddy? You enjoying your summer so far?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Hit a milestone birthday last month, well, the month before. Still recovering, and still very humbled by some of the presents I got, particularly West Ham related ones.
Yeah. What did you get? Let everyone know what you.
Well, I got the usual array of kind of bits and pieces that you get when you hit a certain age. But my best mate bought me an oil painting of Steve Potts, commissioned from Canning Town Len.
Yeah.
So over emotional. Got a couple of really good anthologies about West Ham's history, book-wise. Yeah, picture the bowling ground. It's all good.
Awesome. Do you want to share what that milestone was, or is that still a bit of a sore subject?
I hit 50. I know I don't look it. I know I look about 70 anyway. But yeah, and I was the baby of the moderators until you employed, young Chris and Ace at like LC, who one of our other colleagues.
Yeah,
I think he was younger, but it's only about 8 days or something. So I'm still. That's touch and go, that one.
Well, welcome to the club, mate. Anyway, it's good to have you on the wrong side of the half century. Pinky, we can't get you out of that circle. We've tried, but we can't get rid of it. So here you are in circular mode today. How are you, buddy? I haven't seen you for a few weeks. Everything good? Oh, he's frozen. Now he's frozen.
What a face to be frozen on as well.
Pink, if you can hear us, just let us know. Otherwise, we'll come back to you in a minute. Anyway, we'll crack on. We'll push on with the draw. The European Europa. No, it's not Europa, is it? The European UEFA Conference League draw taking place in Switzerland today. West Ham United in the draw, the playoff round. Not like last year, where we went straight into the group phase of the Europa League proper without having to go through the playoffs. We do on this occasion, which is slightly odd, but there you go. West Ham will face one of 10 teams. We are in a mini group with 10 other teams, or 10 other teams we can potentially face, and four teams who are also seeded like West Ham United. I'm just trying to find the details of that. Which window have I got in? Here we go. West Ham, Villarreal, Fiorentina, Cologne of Germany, Nice of France, all seeded teams for this round of the draw. And West Ham are in Group 4 of this particular segment. And we can draw one of 10 teams. Now, those 10 teams we could potentially face will be made 5 in the course of the next week or so, because they're playing in the current knockout phase. I hope you're all sticking with us, and this is going over everyone's head. But the 5 ties that are taking place this week, you've got to pay. And again, Rio, I should get you to do this, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Given your love for pronunciations of European teams.
Always like get the bloke who loves to mumble, is pretty incoherent at best of times to pronounce a load of teams. And I haven't got them in front of me either, which is even more fun.
Okay.
Let me try and find them.
Go on then.
I'll give you a wave when I do find them at all.
While you're doing that, there are some, while you're finding that, I can tell everyone that there's some very unusual teams in this draw, many of which we wouldn't have heard of before. But my favourite has got to be, there's a team from Luxembourg called Diddling in the draw. Diddling. They're playing Malmo of Sweden, so they probably won't get through, but it's spelled Diddling, Diddling of Luxembourg.
Looks like Pinky's diddling at the moment, doesn't it?
Chalks, is that a club you've ever heard of before? FC Diddling? Oh, it's actually F91 Diddling. Don't know what the 91 refers to.
No, never heard of it.
No, it's a new one on me as well. I'm not particularly well versed on teams from the Luxembourg League. Rio, any luck with those teams yet?
Yeah. Thank you, the Lancashire Hammers, for sorting me out.
Okay,
right, so 10 potential opponents are Paida Linnameskonda, who hail from Estonia, I believe. The world famous Anderlecht of Belgium. Austria's version of Wolfsberger. Gorica United, who hail from Malta. Riga, obviously from Latvia. Vicente from Portugal. AIK from Sweden. KF Shikendija, who I think are Moldovan. Viborg of Denmark. And this is potentially the one that a lot of people will be up for. B36 Torsvan, who hail from the Faroe Islands. So there's some interesting ties ahead of us.
What do we, Chalks, thank you, Rio, by the way, for an excellent job pronouncing those teams. I'm glad you took that on, because I wouldn't have known where to start with, especially that Estonian team that you started with. Anyway, Chalks, looking at those teams, it looks like maybe Anderlecht, the Austrian Wolfsburg, maybe Vicente Portugal, AIK Sweden, and probably Viborg Denmark are going to be the 5 that we're potentially facing in the next round. Is there any one of those that takes your fancy, or any you really want to avoid?
It's got to be Anderlecht, isn't it?
Yeah,
I just want us to play someone that we've actually heard of.
Yeah, I think that leaves Anderlecht. That's about it, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to be strong. Although I'm not sure how strong we're going to be, because of the squad size, etc. But yeah, I'd rather go straight in and play someone like Anderlecht.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to find out very soon who we are. Pinky's back anyway. Good to see you, Pinky. Still in that circle. I'm not. Maybe that's something that we'll have to have a look at that in due course to see if we can figure out what's going on there. But good to have you back, buddy. Anyway, I was just asking everyone how their summers have gone. How's yours been so far?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of summer. If there's a World Cup or a Euros, obviously we've had the girls to keep us entertained this summer. Yep. And well done to the Lionesses. I think it's only right we should say that. I thought they played superbly and were worthy winners of their tournament. But other than that, the summer's pretty quiet for me. Let's be honest, the test matches haven't exactly. I don't know what they do with the cricket season anymore. We have test matches, and we have one days, and we've got this thing called the 100. It's all over the place. It's worse than climate change. It really is. But other than that, obviously looking forward to the new season ahead. Europa Conference League. I mean, what will they think of next?
Yes, and the draw has actually begun. I think. Chalks, have you got it on there? Are you tuning in live?
No, I'm just looking at you for it.
Okay. All right. Rio, are you taking notice? Can you keep us up to date with what's going on here?
I would love to, but I'm still struggling to find a stream.
Okay.
Can I just say as well, Graham, can I just say that with Pinky in that circle, this is like watching an old episode of Teletubbies. He's like the sun, isn't he, that talks.
Yes.
Talks. We know where you live. All right.
Okay. Uh-oh.
The draw's begun. There's numbers coming out. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Rio, there is a stream on UEFA.com under UEFA Europa Conference League /draws. If anyone wants to watch that instead of listen to the ramblings of us incoherent lot. But
well, just one thing, Graham. I mean, this draw, I've got to be honest with you. I've had a look at some of the travel options beforehand, and on my days, I think this is a tournament at this stage for the truly committed. If you look at the allocations you're going to get if we go to the Faroe Islands, good luck with that. Good luck with the ferry from Copenhagen. That'll be a nice little trip for you, won't it, on rough seas? Not ideal. Even places, I don't know, like Wolfsburg in Austria. Again, middle of nowhere, you betcha. Malta in peak holiday season. How's that for a budget pleaser? I mean, who dreams of these things in UEFA? Why can't we have these sort of like holiday destination teams enter the competition at low costs, not in the peak season?
Yeah.
So like the Maltese teams could come in October, the climate would be better, the flights would be cheaper.
Stick them straight in at the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Yes. Pinky, in terms of on a serious note, travel, what would be preferential for us? I mean, I'm guessing something like Anderlecht would be the easiest one to get to out of these potential ties.
The two things for a big turnout really would be Anderlecht, and obviously some historical reference there, and AIK over in Stockholm. And it pays you money, it takes your choice. I mean, Belgium, you hop on the Eurostar, you're all there and back in a matter of hours. Stockholm, loads of flights, hotels a bit toppy, but that is the biggest banana skin. AIK, for my money, is the side to avoid.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. They're halfway through their season.
Yeah, well, this is a very good point. Of course, they're in the groove, as it were, already. A lot of these clubs in Europe, which of course isn't West Ham's case, still warming up from pre-season. As I said, the draw is underway. Let me try and briefly explain what's going on here. There's two paths: the Champions path, which involves 5 teams eliminated from the Europa Conference League third qualifying round, and 5 teams eliminated from the Europa League 5 winners from the Conference League third qualified round, who are up against 5 teams who were eliminated from the Europa League third qualifying round. I believe we've done that. I didn't quite catch those, but we're looking at the main path, and this has been broken down into groups. West Ham are in Group 4, so we're assuming it's in chronological order or numerical order, should I say? Here we go. Hang on, I think West Ham have just been drawn out. Saying that, I've just seen West Ham come out. Did anyone catch that? Did anyone see what we've got? We'll have another look in just a moment. So presumably not then. We saw Group 1, Drew, and it looks like we've gone straight to Group 4. West Ham have been drawn out of the hat. Flashed up very briefly on the screen there. I didn't get a chance to see it. If anyone did, please jump in. Now let's have a look. Who's being drawn out now? It's a number 1, which is if it's Group 4, this is Cupio or Young Boys, I would imagine. And they will be playing Linamiscon or Anderlecht. Yes, here we go. West Ham have got Viborg or Torshavn. Viborg of Denmark or Torshavn of the Faroe Islands. Pinky. There you go. West Ham are going to be at home in the first leg, which is I believe, the 18th of August away in the second leg. Rio, instant reactions to that. The Hammers drawn either Viborg of Denmark or Torshavn of the Faroe Islands.
Well, first of all, you've got to say that it's rather favourable that we didn't get the likes of Anderlecht for me. AIK, who would have been a really, really tough opponent. So we come off a little bit favourable there. We should progress. But wouldn't it be the most West Ham thing ever, after a fantastic run in Europa League last year, to lose to a bunch of Faroe Islanders?
Well, it certainly would. I can tell. I'm just having a quick look at the Danish Super Liga now. Viborg, they've started the league already. They're 3 games in. Viborg are currently 4th in the Danish Super Liga with 2 wins and a defeat from their opening 3 games. 3 points behind the current leaders, Nordskjælland. Chalks, reactions to that? A trip to Denmark or the Faroe Islands? Which would you prefer?
Not that I'd be able to get out there. So for our supporters that actually do the miles, I think it would be easier for them if we got the Danish team, wouldn't it?
Yes, you'd think so, and preferable, I guess. Pinky, you're the most well travelled out of the group. How does that rank in terms of travel plans getting over to Denmark?
Well, Denmark, I mean, it's not ideal because of where Viborg is, and so it's a little bit awkward to get to. The nearest big city would be Aarhus, and be very careful. You'd be aiming for Aarhus in Denmark, not Aarhus in Sweden.
Is that in the middle of our street?
Yeah, well, something like that. You're an embarrassment, Chalks. That's all I'll say to you on that point. But but no. So that's the nearest big town. But I mean, the obvious airport you'd go to would be Copenhagen. Your other option, depending on rail and what have you, might be to look at somewhere like Hamburg, fly to Hamburg and go up north, up through Flensburg and keep going. So you've got a couple of options there. You'd probably drive it from Calais in, 10 hours, something like that, if you wanted to do it. I've kind of done that before. But it's a bit of a middle of nowhere place. So if I'm sounding distracted, it's because I'm currently booking my hotels in Aarhus. And there you go, because that's gonna go through the roof. So yeah, I mean, it is who it is, and they haven't started their season yet, which I think helps us. So they're no further forward than we are in terms of preparation. So dare I say it, not even West Ham can get this one wrong.
I can tell you a little bit about our potential opponents, thanks to the joys of Wikipedia. Viborg, nicknamed the Greens, playing green and white stripes, so no colour clash there. Founded in the 1st of April 1896, not too far away from West Ham, 126 years ago. They play at the Viborg Stadium, which has a capacity of 9,566. The head coach there is Jacob Faroese. And as I said, they play in the Danish Super League, 57th in the league last year. Green shirts, home shirts, white shirts away. So presumably no clash there. 10,000 capacity means, of course, that there probably aren't going to be that many tickets for away fans available. But that's far better than our other potential opponents, the Faroese semi-professional football club known as Torshavn, or the full name, interestingly, is Bolt Felagio 1936. Sounds like. Yes, indeed.
Got my vote already.
we'll go no further with that. Nicknames are B36, the White Tigers. They were founded in March 1936, 86 years ago. And they play at the Gundadula Stadium in Tórshavn, which is on the Faroe Islands. It has a capacity of 5,000. The manager there is a guy called Dan Brimsvik. And Tórshavn, as we're going to call them, which is probably completely incorrect pronunciation, playing an all-white home strip, and their away kit is akin to Man City's colours: a sky blue shirt, white shorts, and sky blue socks. So they are our potential opponents. As Binky said, you can probably drive to Denmark in 10 hours if you're going to go to the Faroe Islands. Well, that logistically would be a complete nightmare. It'll be probably up there with the away trip to Tbilisi in 1980. That one, I would imagine, without the threat of having to go behind the Iron Curtain.
Your issue with the Faroe Islands is, even if you can get a flight there, even if you do the ferry there, can you get a hotel there?
To get in.
You know, and then can you get a ticket? You know, so we're likely to have an allocation of below 500, I would think.
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, you can already see the bondholders up in arms. You know, we're entitled to tickets to every single game. Yeah. Well, back of the line, bud. Yeah, because I think you've milked that one for all you should do. So, you know, on the Faroe Islands, I wouldn't be booking anything at this stage. You wait to see what either the club might put on a charter, or one of the other independent charter companies might do it. And I suspect that'll be an in and out and a night job. So that's probably looking at the mid hundreds of pounds, I would think, looking at the distance. I've never quite figured out why the Faroe Islands don't belong to us. I mean, if you look at a map, and I looked at a map earlier, and we've got the Shetlands and Orkney and all the rest of it up there. The Faroes are pretty close. They should be ours, really. So I don't really understand how they ended up with the Danish. Anyone understand that, the history?
No idea. Absolutely none whatsoever.
Are you suggesting that we should claim those islands when we're there?
Well, I think it'd be reasonable. I mean,
it'd be a West Ham, wouldn't it?
Let's be honest. We sent thousands of troops, 12,000 miles to the South Atlantic, yeah, and reclaimed those ones. And I think the Faroe Islands, you know, let's be honest, they should be ours, really. So the campaign to reclaim the Faroe Islands starts right now.
There you go.
I mean,
we will find out which of those two teams will be playing a week from tomorrow, because the first leg of which Viborg are hosting is tomorrow evening, and the return leg will be taking place a week hence in the Faroe Islands. So we've got another week or so to wait until we can find out who we're playing there. But just trying to see how the so Tórshavn play in the Faroe Islands Premier League, which I'm not quite sure. It's only been running since 1942, and interestingly, most of the clubs that play in it appear to have two-lettered names. Recent winners include Key, HB, Vikinger broke that sequence, and B36 have won it themselves a couple of times in recent seasons. But I think you've got to say, I mean, you know, it would certainly appear that Viborg are going to be the likely opponent there. Any recollections of playing Danish teams in the past in pre-season? I recall Pardew going over to Scandinavia a few times, but that was Sweden, wasn't it? Not sort of Denmark. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, I think Alan Pardew had a bit of a punch on for Sweden for reasons unknown.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's the first time I actually recall us ever come across a Danish side, to be honest. Just looking at the configuration of Viborg Stadium, it looks like I reckon we'll get potentially at maximum 2,040 seats, because that's the smallest of their stands. I can't imagine that the Danish police would like to have us kind of intermingling or anywhere near the kind of being as near to the home support as possible. So, yeah, potentially 2,040, but you've got to look, it's going to be a little bit less than that. I run about 1,800 tops.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see. But, of course, we've got another week or so to wait before we can find out. Just having a quick look at the Faroe Islands Premier League. I don't believe the new season has begun, but Tórshavn finished fourth in the league last season, the Faroe Islands Premier League, behind Key, Vikinger and Havnar Boltflag. I think they're just making these names up. But they played 15 games, won 7, lost 7, drew 1. 22 points with a plus 12 goal difference. So they certainly shouldn't be any difficulty. But Pinky, you know, going. Oh, should we just have a quick look before we wrap up? Let's just see how the rest of the ties in Group 4 finished. We had West Ham versus Viborg or Torshavn. The other ties we've got Kupskupio or Young Boys of Switzerland will face Peiderlinem Miskond or Anderlecht, the one we were keen to avoid. Fenerbahce or Slovako of the Czech Republic, not Czechoslovakia anymore, of course, will face either AEK of Sweden or Skendija of Macedonia. Molde of Norway, of course, they're a team that have got Champions League pedigree in the past, I think, or Kisvada of Hungary will face Wolfsberger or Gzira United of Malta. And finally, from that group, Dundee, Scottish side, Dundee United. Not Dundee United or AZ Alkmaar of the Netherlands. Tough tie for the Scottish side. They will face either Riga or Gil Vicente of Portugal. So, Pinky, really sort of summing up, we've done all right there, haven't we? We've probably got the best draw we could hope for, I think, in terms of the quality of the team as opposed to the logistical situation, at least.
Yeah, I mean, all you can ask for at this stage is someone who's lower down the rankings than you, someone who hasn't started their season before you. So you're on a relatively even keel, and it gives our manager the opportunity to say, well, how strong a team do I really need to put out against this lot? But what you must not do, you must not get beaten by teams at this level, because you can't escape that forever. It's there forever. It's an embarrassment forever. So, yeah, however much it's a jolly for the supporters, I expect West Ham United Football Club to take this very seriously indeed. Because they've got to, you know, if you look at the money we're spending this summer, a big chunk of that is because of how well we did in the Europa League last year. So, you know, the message to David Moyes is take the competition seriously and you increase your transfer budget. And I'm sure he will, but for us, that's a reasonable tie. For the supporters, a real nightmare. I'm just going back to Rio's point there on the sort of allocations and what have you.
Yeah.
If we go to the Faroe Islands, you're probably looking at 250 people. That's it.
Okay.
That's going to be, you know, one plane load or two at the very most.
Yeah.
If we go to Viborg, yeah, you're probably looking at about double that. Again, these are not huge allocations. So, you know, the way these things work, we know there's a pecking order. You know, the bondholders go first. So there'll be, you know, the 5 remaining living bondholders will all apply. Then you got the away season correction. Then you'll have the corporate siphon off. So you can expect at least 100 to disappear for that.
Okay.
You know, Graham Gooch is out of the cricket season, so he's bound to be there. And then you'll be the away season ticket holders, where there'll be a ballot of some sort, because there's 600 of us, nearly 700 of us. So you've probably got a 1 in 2 shot at getting it. So supporters might just want to think very carefully before they spend a lot of money on travel to say, am I actually going to get a ticket? So I'd like to see the details on how the tickets have been handed out first.
Good advice. Well done. Chalks, Conference League this year. What are your thoughts? Is this competition we should take seriously? Of course, we saw Tottenham last year essentially dump it, didn't we, around Christmas when they decided they had too many games to play. But is this something we should be looking to win this year?
Yeah, I think that this is the competition we should take more seriously than any.
Okay.
This is you look at. I mean, I know it's an age-old conversation and argument, but you know, our league isn't competitive past the top 3 or 4 teams. I'd say it's pretty much the same for the FA Cup, and pretty much the same for the League Cup.
Yeah.
This is a tournament. I know that there's going to be some teams that drop down into it, but this is a competition that we can really take seriously and get our teeth stuck into. And I'd be disgusted, a strong word, but I would be disgusted if we didn't. I don't think it's the same as when Astra Gugu knocked us out a couple of times, because I think it suited the club then not to be competitive in that cup.
Yeah.
But right now, this is something that we can look to actually do very well in, and I'd be, as I say, I'd be disgusted if we didn't.
Okay. Rio, of course, had a great run, didn't we, last year in the Europa League? Just fell at the final hurdle, unfortunately, in Germany. But the quality you looked at last year in the sort of last 4 or 8 teams, and the quality between the Europa League and the Conference League wasn't that different, was it? I mean, obviously you had Roma who went on to win it, which I wouldn't mind betting that they'd have beaten Frankfurt or Rangers, who of course contested the Europa League final. We've still got to find out which there will be some teams dropping into the competition from the Europa League. So, but what's your view on that? Do you think it's a lot more difficult to win the Europa League, or like I say, do you think there's not really that much in it?
I think both competitions are incredibly similar in strength.
Right.
When we got down to the final stages of last season competitions, I'd wager that the conference sides were stronger. Had Marseille in there, Roma, Feyenoord, all with big European pedigrees. Yeah. And the deeper you went into that competition, because it was derided at first, and I think hence the reason that Tottenham manipulated themselves out of the chance of winning their first trophy in 30 odd years. But we won't go into that one again. But yeah, the deeper you went into the competition, the stronger it got. And there was a really good calibre of sides there. So it's something we have to take seriously. There's a big reward at the end of it. We haven't won a trophy since, I'm still claiming the Intertoto, but I get laughed at for that. But realistically, since 1980. We've got a real shot here, and we've got a real shot against teams that potentially who could drop into the competition and be very, very strong. So it's a great opportunity for us to kind of stamp our authority on Europe.
The 2 ties, the playoff ties, will take place, as we said at the top of the show, on the 18th, Thursday the 18th and the 25th of August. We now know that the 18th will be, the game on the 18th will be at the London Olympic Stadium against Viborg and or should I say, or Torshavn, and the return leg either in Denmark or the Faroe Islands a week later on the 25th. The rest of the format is pretty similar after that to last season, but one thing that we could possibly be an issue, I mean, sort of not wishing to count our chickens and all that, but the final is being played in the Czech Republic in Prague, in a stadium that only has a 20,000 capacity, Pinky, which I know the idea of this competition is to give the smaller sides in Europe a chance to compete at a continental level, but that would you say that's a little bit of an oversight, something that perhaps they should have looked at a bit closer?
It's a difficult one because we look at it as supporters of our club, but let's be honest here. We've qualified for the lowest ranking European competition there is, one that is specifically designed to get smaller clubs European experience. So if you plonked it, say in the Empire Stadium in London, what have you, and say, right, there's 90,000 can turn up, and Viborg could get to the final and they're playing Wolfsberger, and you've got 6,000 supporters in 100,000 capacity stadium, everyone then say, well, UEFA, what have you done? Mm-hmm. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. The lesson is very clear. Don't get beaten over 2 legs home and away by Eintracht Frankfurt. We are where we are because we weren't good enough on the nights. So if you like, our reward is there'll be the usual scramble for tickets. I mean, I'm not joking. Have a look at trying to book a hotel in Prague right now for that and see what you'll pay, because I'm telling you, it'll be through the roof. I booked mine 2 months ago. And I was missing out, because I've paid through the roof for, scarcity of hotel availability. So everyone's booked, and every club supporters does the same. But 20,000 capacity, depending on who we get. I mean, who are the likely best team other than West Ham United in this competition? Who's the next club we've really heard of the most in the whole competition? You could be having 50, 60, 70,000 supporters looking for tickets for this.
For sure.
So all I'd do is encourage every supporter, read the UEFA site. They frequently have ballots for these things. Put your name in the ballot. You know, I know a lot of Rangers supporters did that for Seville, and that's how they got their tickets. So, you know, it's one of those. You know, and when it comes down to it, if we're honest, if we end up playing some no marks in a European final, there won't be the clamour for the tickets. Really, there'll be the lads wanting a couple of nights away on the beer. But let's be honest, if we've got the Faroe Islands team in the final, yeah, you know, let's be honest, it's a bit like England playing San Marino, really, isn't it? Although that always sells out, doesn't it?
No, but it's a fair point you make. Okay, well, look, we're going to wrap up there, chaps. Let's just take a quick look at the dates, and without wishing to be presumptuous, but the group stage proper, if West Ham were to proceed to the group stage from the playoff round, which, as I said, takes place on the 18th and 25th of August. The group stage will commence on the 8th of September. Dates thereafter, the 15th of September, 6th, 13th and 27th of October, and finally the 3rd of November. The round of 16 will commence in 2023, March 2023, the 9th and 16th, the quarterfinals, the 13th and 20th of April, the semi-finals, the 11th and 18th of May, with the final of the Conference League next year, 7th of June. Chalks, that could make it a very long season if we were to get that far.
But wouldn't it be lovely?
It would.
Wouldn't it be lovely? Because, as I say, you know, when we get to that stage of the season, we're not going to be challenging at the top of the league. We're probably going to be out of the FA Cup. The League Cup will have finished and we won't have won it. We could be, you know, it'll extend our season. And last year, the UEFA Cup was magical, absolutely magical. So, bring it on. Just got to quickly add that the home leg for this playoff is there's a scheduled train strike. So I wonder whether the club will think of it and try to switch it. I doubt they will, because this is West Ham. But could be an issue for people getting to the ground that night.
That's actually a really valid point. Thank you for pointing that. That's just that day, is it, Chalks? It's just on the 18th, just for one day. Yeah. Okay. Very important point for those of you not traveling from just up the road. But anyway, there it is. That's about it from today's draw. Thank you everyone for joining us. My thanks to my fellow team members, to Rio, to the Pig Palermo, to Chalks for joining me. There it is. West Ham United will face either Viborg of Denmark or Tórshavn of the Faroe Islands in the playoff round of this year's Conference League. Going to be an interesting one. We've never played a team from either of those countries before, so we look forward to it. Of course, the Premier League season does commence this Sunday, Manchester City, and we will be here live. Eyes Up Mother Brown will be returning for another season this weekend, I can tell you. So hopefully I shall see you this Sunday for that. And here's to another fantastic season. Who knows? We might have brought in another player or two before then. Maybe not.
I mean, a trip to the Faroe Islands could really get Kostić over the line, couldn't it? You know, I mean, that could be the clincher. It could be the clincher.
Indeed. Yeah, if ever anyone needed persuading, that could be it. There it is. That's it from the Eyes Up Mother Brown team day. Thank you, as I said, to everyone for joining us, and we'll catch you all again very soon. Till then, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.